Hey guys, and welcome to part 17 of our Blender Wall-E tutorial. So by the end of part 16 you can see we're well on our way now to having this Wall-E model. We've now working on the track area. So in this tutorial we're going to be working on the brackets here which hold these tracks into place. So as with most of our stuff, we're going to start off with a basic object. So we're going to start off with a cube, which will scale down. We'll go to the front view, drag this approximately into position. It's going to be around here. So scale on the X, scale on the Z axis, and then we'll go to a side view. So I want to scale on the Y axis. And we'll drag it into position somewhere around the front there. Okay, so now we're done with that. We can go over into edit mode. And in our tools, we can create a loop cut. Go to face select, grab this face, can extrude it upwards. Go to edge select, grab this edge, Control B to bevel, and we'll bevel that edge. Now you can see we've got something akin to this shape here. Now I may just want to move this face down slightly. Okay, so that is the first basic part of our bracket. Now if we look in our 3D image here, we've actually got two of these. I don't know if it's possible to see it here, but you can kind of see the back edge of one there. So there's actually two on each side, if we can see it in these blueprints. But there's one at the front and one at the rear. So we're going to create another one of these. We can actually just mirror this. Go back into object mode. We'll add a mirror modifier to mirror on the y-axis. And if we select the mirror object, then we can drag these to get them spaced. Probably about that's the right spacing. We can apply that and drag it into position. Like so. And once we've got these in position there, actually bring these top parts down a little bit. So we'll go back over into edit mode, grab the two top faces, we'll bring those down slightly, back into object mode, drag that object up. Okay. Now, detail that we can't see from here is quite how it's attached up to the tracks, but we've got a plate here that bends around and then comes up and is basically going to connect to those. So the way I'm going to make this be to go over into edit mode, and we'll grab a loop cut. Now I'm going to take this face, I'm going to extrude it out. Basically join up with this face over here. Okay, so that's basically our bracket. Then we're going to go back into object mode, add a mirror modifier, mirror on the x-axis, but our object is going to be the body. So now it will also be replicated on both sides. Now we're going to make this plate, which kind of comes up and attaches around to the front there. So we'll do that again by coming over into edit mode, loop cut again, a little bit off to the edge, loop cut off to the edge like so. Now we're going to grab this face and we'll extrude it downwards. Excuse me. I'm going to drag out the sides of this a bit, make it a bit wider. Okay, once we've got this here, we'll make another loop cut. Just going to come around the bottom edge there. Face select. We'll extrude out. Chip out the reference image. So basically what we're making now is this section here, which is going to come up and attach to our piston type area, which holds these two tracks in place. So again, we'll make another loop cut. Face select. Grab this face and extrude it upwards. Like so. I'm going to go back over into object mode. I'm going to drag this back until it's underneath the piston. Drag it back this way as well. Okay, so that basically is our bracket. Now we just need to jump back over into edit mode here and loop cut here. Grab this top face, extrude it upwards and drag it this way. So we can make this bracket here. Actually, I'm going to make that bracket as a separate piece. So I'll just leave this as it is for now. What I do want to do is pull out this section slightly. I'm going to extrude that out a little bit. I'm just going to extrude this up. Oops, both these edges here. Extrude that up slightly. And the same then here at the rear. I'm going to bring these edges out. Okay. So now we need to do a little bit of detail around this piston area. If we take back a look at our image here, we'll make this this kind of bracket here, which is going to hold into the piston. So we need a bolt going through it to this bracket. So we'll kind of come back over into object mode. We'll create a cylinder. Just going to scale down. go through to our left view. Scale this down some more. Rotate it 90 degrees on the y-axis. Bring it down here into position. Drag it back a little bit. Now come into edit mode. Grab top face, extrude, and scale. Extrude, enter, and scale. And extrude inwards slightly to give a head there. Okay. So back over then into object mode, we can get a good view of this. Again, this part here, we're going to then join to our other object there. So it becomes mirrored onto the other side. Now we've got a cutout in this section here, and this bolt which is holding everything into place. So I'm going to add that in next. So again, we'll come into edit mode. I'm going to grab the loop cuts. So we're going to make a couple of loop cuts here. And some more that go vertically around. Now I'm going to go select these faces, delete this face, delete this face. Now we have the hole. Now we're just going to recreate faces on these edges. So if we select around here, and select from these vertices. And create, make edge and face there. Now we'll select these 4 vertices and make edge and face. We select these 4 and the final 4 here. There's the hole that we need in the side part here. Now we can adjust the size of that, but just by grabbing hold of the faces, moving them in. Something like this. And then finally, we're going to make this bolt here. So that will be quite straightforward to do. Just going to come back over into object mode. What I've noticed here is that maybe this is sticking down a little bit too far. Let's go to the front view. Yeah, it's sticking down a little bit too far, so we need to move all of this up a little bit, like so. Okay, that's fine. It's going to have the thickness of the tracks also running underneath there, but we don't want this to be dragging on the floor. So by the time we add in the tracks, there should be sufficient clearance. Everything should be okay there. If we want, we can actually adjust it also a little bit here in edit mode. Just grab these bottom faces. And we can move them up a little bit. that a little thinner. Okay. So final thing is make this bolt which is holding this into place here. So we're going to go into create a cylinder. Scale. Move things down. Left view. Scale this a bit more. Let's check back with our reference image. So wider top, thinner middle, wider bottom basically is how we're going to go. I'm going to scale this a little bit on the z-axis. I'm going to bring this up to here. Go to the front view. Drag this into position. So we want about half of it sticking out there. Maybe we'll bring it up just below this. A little bit more. Okay, now we'll go over into edit mode. Grab this bottom face. E to extrude. We'll go down a little bit. And we'll scale. Extrude again. Extrude again and scale. Our final extrusion comes down here. Now again, that needs to be mirrored over to the opposite side, so we're going to select these parts here and we'll join them together. Now we should have it mirrored on both sides. The final thing we need to do is just the bracket here which holds these onto the bottom of Wally. So I'm going to create that out of a new object, like I said. So we'll create a new cube. Which will scale. Front view. Get it approximately into position. Just going to adjust these. The top. So that this stick down a little bit lower. Something more like here. Okay, back to object mode. Grab this object. Scale it. I'm going to position it and we're going to scale on the y-axis so it overhangs at both sides. Scale a little bit on the z-axis, scale on the x-axis. Scale on Z again, make it a bit taller, and then we're going to rotate. On the y-axis, create an angle. Now we can drag it into position. This top edge here, I'll extrude out a little bit. Now the final thing is we need a nut then to go through here to hold this all into place. So we come back into object mode, create another cylinder, which we're going to rotate on the x-axis 90 degrees. scale it all down, drag it down into position, front view again, scale, let's put it into place. Okay, scale that down some more. And there we go. Okay, so I'll scale this on the y-axis so it's longer. So it should actually protrude out of both sides of here. This object also we can scale on the y-axis, it's a little bit wide. I think that's okay. Bring this out slightly. Go into edit mode. Grab the end face, extrude a little bit and scale. Extrude, enter and scale. Extrude inwards a little bit. And there we go. Okay. Then we'll join these two pieces together. This is going to be then mirrored. Add a mirror modifier. We're going to mirror it around this object. Mirror it on the y-axis. We need to drag these out into position. So we can place these here into place. Okay, once that is done, we join these together. It's now mirrored on both sides. So there we have our brackets to hold everything into place. So in the next tutorial, we're going to be finishing off basically with these tracks, and then we're done pretty much for the modeling stage. So thanks for following along, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. If you want, and you can download the link to the model file that we're working on. It's here at the bottom of the YouTube video in the description. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.